All right. Well, welcome to our college in-service meeting. Hopefully, you enjoyed everything that went on before. Sorry, I got to remember to stay up here. I'm zooming, and that means zooming is, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm zooming, so I have to make sure to remember to stay here and not walk out for anybody who's watching it online or watches it later. But we are very glad to have y'all here in this beginning of the semester. And we've already had a lot of the intros and everything, so we're not going to belabor too much of that because we've already done so much of it. And we want to be conscious of the right time because how many of you are not completely ready for your courses? I mean, okay, yeah. Most people in here are like, no, we start that next week, right? That's what they have that week off for. Yeah, exactly. I do too. So we're going to start off by having some updates from our different well, come on, there we go. Our different program heads, and of course, the guy who we are being led by, every one of us, is President Mac Hevner. So let's give President Hevner a hand. He's going to give us an update.
Well, I apologize for my appearance this morning. I didn't get the dress code message, but anyway, I'm glad you're here. Glad I'm here. When you're my age, you're glad you're anywhere. We have a great year coming up, and I hope you're as excited about it as I am. I shared some information in that session in the auditorium, so I'm not going to repeat that. But how many of you were with us when we had that meeting in June, I believe, June 28th at Timaquana? Okay, we did some exercises at that meeting, and one of those was if we were a car, what would we be? And then the follow-up to that was, what would we want to be? Now, you gave us a lot of the information. You may not have realized it, but you gave the strategic leadership of the school a lot of information about what you value and who you believe we are and who you want to be. And so that was not a session where we were trying to say, here's how we're going to do that. That was a session to say, here's what we're seeing and here's what we'd like to be. And that's really what strategy is all about. Strategy is determining not sometimes just who you are or something that has just evolved over operations, but rather it's who you want to be and how you're going to get there. So the executive team, consisting of Pastor Adam, Matt, and Jeremiah and myself, will be working now. We're really going to start in September with two full 2 days. Two easy for you to say, two full day meetings in September on the week of the 13th and 19th. And we'll be trying to flesh in some of those thoughts that you shared at Timaquana. So I want you to know that not only was that a fun time, but it was a valuable time for us as your leadership team. Obviously, keep praying that we get the students that God wants us to have. I'll repeat myself from this morning, but I think it is not a joke. It is important to know whoever we've got, those are the ones you prayed for. And so if they're just stellar people and you want to just thank God, or if you want to thank God for the challenges that they represent, either way, those are the ones that we prayed for. And we're at crunch time right now on the building. We've had almost every conceivable delay at different stages, and we've been able to work through that because we made up the time at other stages that we were able to get ahead on when we were delayed on a particular stage. And so now we don't have that luxury. Now it's crunch time, and we've got to have everything right. We've had a real challenge with JEA, first getting a transformer and then trying to get a meter so that we could make the transformer run. But that's been done. That was all finally accomplished on Monday. We've got a challenge that our furnishings could be delayed. Pray that they're not going to be. They're manufactured in California, and they were supposed to have been delivered on on August 1st. And so we found out that they were just going to manufacturing on the 27th of July. So that everything's just always going to be a crunch at the end, but it's going to be good. We've got, and I'm sure you're going to probably talk to them a little bit about Panopto and some of the training that you've got coming up. But that lecture capture is going to give us enormous opportunity to improve the students' academic performance. I think one of the things that's really hard on the student athletes is that when they miss a lecture, and we're assuming that they can't just make the grade in your course because they read the book. I mean, if there's not something they're getting out of the lecture, why would we do lectures, right? So when they miss one, they're really missing a valuable part of that course. And this lecture capture is going to give us the ability then to bring them back up to speed, maybe even while they're on the road, because it's all going to be on the cloud anyway. And so now, instead of just having that gap in their education, they'll be able to catch up. Same way if somebody's sick or just for one reason or another has missed the session. So I'm very much looking forward to that tool. I think it's going to be one of the best things that we will have done to support our academic excellence. And just again, we'll make sure that we hit the ground running on that, because our plan was we were going to have that installed in class in one room so you could be practicing on it during the summer. So obviously we are that far overdue with that. And anytime you get into anything that requires a chip, you know this, technology is all dependent now on our relationship with China and what they're manufacturing over there, that they decide whether they're going to give it to us or not. And so you got all kind of things going on right now, but I don't believe for a moment that God woke up this morning and said, whoops. You know, he is fully aware of our challenges and fully capable of meeting them. So anyway, looking forward to a good year. I need one person who knows how to clone a course to help me clone my course. Who can do that? Yes. Okay. I'll get with John. He's going to help me clone my course. Dr. Beamer used to do that for me. I'm not putting any pressure on you at all, Adam, but I'm not good at that part of it. Any questions? Anything you want to know about what's happening at the leadership level? Well, I guess we've been very clear about it then. Do we have any online questions? Do you have a chat? No?
There is a chat.
There is a chat. No questions. Well, if you think of one later, I'm always available. God bless.
Watch out. Oh.
Be available, but I will always be available.
All right. See what that did to Zoom. Well, while Zoom is actually still going somehow, I don't know, but while I am putting this back together, he mentioned Panopto, the lecture capturing system, and the good news on that, anytime I remember these lectures that we had, or not lectures, in-service sessions in the past, and the time they would come up, I remember thinking, oh, great, another thing we have to do. Anybody else ever been there? Here's the good thing about what we are trying to accomplish. Man, he just broke it, didn't he? It's okay. Hold on, I got you.
You want to reboot?
No, you're good. You're good. You've done enough. Just kidding. All right, we're good. We're good. All right. So Zoom people are like, what is this square box? Because I'm only sharing that part of the screen. Are we good now? Hey, there we go. So with the Panopto, since you brought it up, what we have designed it to do is it's actually going to be on a scheduled system. It'll have a pan, tilt, and zoom camera that follows you when you're teaching. So when you're walking around, and it's scheduled to start recording when your class starts and end when your class is over. And even it's supposed to, which we're having the technology work this out with us, where when you're in a course, it automatically just goes to your Populi, and they have a link where they can click on and go to it. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And that was what we were supposed to be training on, not we, meaning me, over the summer. And we just obviously, if anybody heard anything about supply chain issues, yeah, we're not immune to that. So we're not there yet to have that system set up and running, but we are going to have a training session tomorrow on that. And the lady's going to, great lady. She's very, very good at teaching. She's going to teach us what we will need to know with this. And most of it's just going to be, if you want to edit, here's how you can do it. If you want to do this, here's what you can do. If you want to be in your office one day and decide, hey, I want to record something, you can do it on your own computer. You don't have to be in a classroom. Any computer, your personal one, you can even do it on an iPad if you got an iPad. So very user friendly. We tried to go the route that would have the least potential for user error, because we're human. So just to give you an idea on that. So yes, sir.
Tomorrow, I would recommend everybody get as close to the screen as you can, because you're not going to be able to see it from 4 rows back.
Yeah. Or you can actually, even if you want to, I shared the link with everybody, so you can be in the room on the session Zoom, even have it right on your computer, so you can have it in front of you or right in front of your face. So either way is an option. All right. So now that President Heavener has given us a little bit of a state of the college address, Vice President Dr. Stanley is going to come up and talk about some student affairs updates.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, we've got the Zoom going. So
all right, on the word.
just be careful with that cord.
Okay, I guess. All right. Welcome back, everybody, and good to see everybody again. I know that it's been a busy summer, a lot of things happening, and student affairs is no different for us. We've had a lot of things happening, a lot of different pieces moving. The biggest thing for us is we have a new team in place. I don't see them in here, so we'll introduce them in absentia. But we have a new Dean of Men, Jason Lynch, a new Dean of Women, Autumn Brinkley, and then Vaughn Brown is officially moving into the Dean of Students role. So that's our new team. We didn't lose Tony Elkins. We are grateful for the fact that she is going to stay on, but she has a new role. And I don't know if you've already introduced her, or they can explain that at the appropriate time. But she will be here remaining on as an employee. But Tabitha Parson is moving on, and she and Chris have some business things they're going to be pursuing as a family. So we are sad to see her leave. I believe 10 years she served in student life as our student life office manager. So we definitely are excited about her new adventures, but definitely some big shoes to fill. And Christy Page is going to be stepping into that position. Her husband, Matt, is working in the enrollment management office. So there is a connection that if you say, hey, they got the same last name, that's a husband and wife. And so they are moving into those new roles. Matt's already been working for a while there, and Christy started, I believe, three weeks ago now, something like that. So anyway, doing a great job. That's the big updates from our area. In relation to students, we have all of our fall athletic participants. Most of those have moved on. That happened this week. And then, of course, next week will be our move in for regular students. So we have all of our soccer players, volleyball players are here already now doing 2-a-days. So if you are bored one morning and want to go out and join them, I'm sure they would love to see some professors out there sweating and participating in whatever they're doing out there. But that would be a great way to get to connect to them. If you want to come over to the Student Center, hang out at all, you can do that. We've made some big changes to the Student Center itself. Autumn Brinkley has an extensive art background. So she actually taught at University Christian for about 12 years, taught art over there. So she has brought some amazing creative ideas to the Student Center and made some improvements to the experience for the students. So I'm sure they'll appreciate that when they get back. Anyway, I think that's all I can think of. So if I can be a help to you at all as we move forward, and any thing that I can help be a liaison with the students, let me know. And looking forward to an exciting fall semester.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And last but certainly not least, our Vice President of Enrollment Management, Mr. Matthew Heavener.
See, for those of you who are interested in a little bit of a history lesson in
in 2006, the college, who was here in 2006 at the college? It really started having some problems. By 2007, we started seeing that we had lower numbers of students. By 2008, it really became apparent. By 2010, we had kind of shifted into a realization that we need to make some changes. And I'm going to tell you a very short story, but there's a reason behind it. When I started at the ministry, the most critical ministry that we were dealing with at the moment was the rescue mission. It was losing it. The economy had eviscerated it. This was 2008. And I asked a group of continuous improvement specialists called the Community Excellence Alliance. It was all of the Lean Six Sigma gurus that headed Blue Cross and Blue Shield, JEA, and it was their little think tank. And I asked them if they would come in and look at the rescue mission. And our program had gone from having around maybe 60 to 70 people in it, and the farm with 20 to 30, to it had gone down to about 15 people in the program, and the farm had maybe 10 people in it. And so I asked them to take a look at it and figure out what was going on. And they used this really cool thing, and they came up and they came back and they said, we figured out what it is. You need to let the people smoke in the program. And I thought, well, no, we can't do that. We don't like people smoking. They said, no, it's, you used to let them smoke in the program and you changed it. And if you'll let them smoke in the program, you'll actually get more people to stop smoking. And I said, okay, you're going to have to unpack this for me, and because I'm not understanding how letting people smoke causes them not to smoke. Okay, well, here's what we want to do. We want to take your program right now is 60 days. We want to take it and make it 90 days. And if you want to go to the farm, you have to stop smoking in the last 30 days, and then you can get to the farm. Well, interestingly, at the end of that little exercise, we had over 105 people in the program, and the farm is only supposed to have 42 in it, and it had 48. We didn't tell the fire marshal, but there were more people that quit smoking because we let them smoke. Now, I know that you're saying, Matt, what in the world are you talking about? Why has this got anything to do with it? I am happy to announce that this year we just broke our record of where we were in 2008, that we have more pastoral theology majors than we had in 2008. And we are within striking distance. Next year, my full expectation is that we will have more pastoral theology candidates than we did in the peak, which was 47. Right now, we've got 33. If that's today, there should be about 2 more. So next year, if we add and retain what we have, if we add the same amount that we added this year, we will actually have more pastoral theology candidates than we did at the peak of where the college was. Now, that's important because the way that we've gotten there, people were looking at and they were scratching their heads. The way we've gotten there is we have roughly 50 incoming business majors. And because we have those 50 incoming business majors, the additional, hold on, and I'll tell you, this is just as of today, so don't hold me to these numbers. They'll be a little bit better. 14 additional criminal justice majors, 13 additional interdisciplinary majors, 49 business administration majors, 8 additional Christian counseling majors. Because of those additional majors, we actually are able to offer a 50% discount to pastoral theology students. This year, we also just offered that same discount to church ministry students. My goal would be that we can offer that to education majors. So what we've done is we've taken and changed some things, but we've also got some great news that we can report, which is we're now going to be producing more pastors than we did in 2008. So that's a good news story. I think that it's also important to note that the revenue numbers were meeting. It looks like, I don't want to jinx it or presume on God, but by all indications, our revenue numbers will be higher than what our budget needs are. For those of you who understand that, that's like showing up and getting an extra $100 in your paycheck and you didn't know you were going to have it. So that's good news. The development side of things, we have had, with very few and reluctant notable exceptions, where life just has said, no, I can't do anything right now. I think we have like a 98% participation rate in our staff, our faculty donating to the building. And we are on track to exceed our goal of 500,000 that we needed to make this project get across the finish line. And so that, again, it allows us to start working on, I know Dad has options then. He can either add on to that building, start reducing debt on that building, whatever it is that we'd like to do. But on a development front, if I could explain it this way, in 2012, there you are. Do you remember when we announced the first time that we were going to build a building in the board meeting?
We broke ground a few times, right?
Yeah. Well, we had the prayer circle. I don't know if we ever broke ground. We had the prayer circle, and 34 years later, we broke ground. No, but here's the thing: is you remember? I don't know that we had a company we hired. They came in and they said, "Hey, your capacity looks like it's about $275,000 that you can raise in gifts." And we're doing north of $500,000 right now. So all of these things are God blessing. And I don't think we would be able to do that if we were not contributing and creating value for the students. That's my belief, is every student who we create value for, whether it's by helping them get a job ultimately, most importantly, if it's introducing them to Christ, they're getting value out of what you're doing. And I think as long as we keep focusing on making sure that they do, we'll keep seeing these numbers improve. Anyone have any questions with regard to enrollment? All right.
Somebody's going to break the ice sooner or later.
Thank you.
All right, and actually, I just realized, got two things. One from what Max said earlier: when you're cloning courses, Shelby and Hannah want me to say this, even though they don't know what I'm about to say. When you're getting ready to clone your course, do not check the meeting time. If you check the meeting time when you clone your course, you'll be in the H building or the S building or over in the F building. So make sure you don't do that. We have tried with Populi to get them to not even let that be an option, but they're just not being heard. So don't do that. And secondly, Matt buried the main lead. And now everything he just said was awesome and incredible, but Shelby and he have been working on something for the last 6 months that is really going to pique your interest. And it is an automated advisee system that registers students for all their courses. And not just that, it will register for the courses they need to take. And if they want to make a change, it does two things. One, it has to be approved by the registrar. And two, they have to basically click and agree that they know it could alter their degree plan. Two things that we have always had issues with, because how many of you have ever had to make a note on a student's file because you told them not to do it? They did it anyway. And then all of a sudden they said, whose fault was it? It was our fault somehow, right? I've done that before, and I started taking notes on it and be like, you remember here? Like, no, I told you not to. Now it's like a binding contractual thing. You click that button. I mean, you said no. So that's a good part, not just to help the students stay on track, but I know every one of us, the one thing we all find difficulty in is navigating registration sometimes, because especially when we get that, I won't say odd student, but you know what I mean? The odd student who comes in and odd in their transfers or odd in their, well, I can't take classes past 10. What? What does that mean? How? Okay, you don't get to graduate, or you're going to cram 4 years into 10. Congratulations, you know. So this will help a lot. So that's one thing that definitely you want to thank Matthew and Shelby for working on that. And I think, do we know we have an ETA and when that would be rolled out?
Just finished negotiating with the company. They're gonna go ahead and start it. But they're back to sign contract, and they're not gonna bill us until October, which means that we're done with our cash requirements for the bill. Roll out.
Awesome. So that's good news. It helps everybody as we focus on other things that we like to focus on. So now, before I get into the next session that I'm doing, I do want to welcome some new faculty, and I will say, and please forgive me, Tony, I didn't have you on here because there's been several emails that have been sent out about Tony, and unless you're Dr. Lucy, you've probably read them. He doesn't read any emails that I send. He admits it. He's just like, oh, look, it's Adam. Delete. He doesn't do that. He didn't get my hair joke. Did anybody else get my hair joke? Thank you. And then my wife was like, Dr. Lopez, you could have put him. I was like, oh, he's probably glad I didn't put him on there. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. So we do have a few, one full-time, Miss Ashley Byer, right over here. So if you can just, so she will be an assistant professor in elementary and special education. So let's give her a hand. Thank you. Very excited about having her on, and obviously she is picking up the slack where our esteemed former full-time professor Dr. Riley retired this past year. So we're very thankful for Dr. Riley, and we're looking forward to Ashley, all that you're going to do for the college. And then we have a new, this is kind of funny, I've known Bill for almost a year now from church, and I had no idea his background. Mr. Byrne, go ahead and stand up for us. He will be one of our adjunct professors in criminal justice. He has a degree, and not just a degree, the experience. He was a correctional officer in New York City. Yeah, that's where it was. Oh, yeah. So he's got some stories, I'm sure. And those students are probably going to love getting to learn from him. And then another one who was not able to make it today, Officer Robert Lestrange. He's going to be another adjunct professor. Dr. Buckner has recruited these gentlemen, and we know they're going to do a great job. So when you see Bill on campus or Officer Lestrange, usually the officers are usually easy to tell, especially when they come in, full garb and everything. Like, oh, either somebody's in trouble, which is a possibility, or they're a professor. Either way, be nice to them. Okay. So, and then another one, he could not be here today because of prior obligations. Matthew Page, who is working in enrollment management, he's actually he's got a master's as well. He's going to start helping and teach in our student life seminar course, and maybe even some other things in the future. So when you see them, definitely congratulate them and welcome them as a part of the team, because I promise you, they're going to need us, because they're going to have questions, and the ones in here in this room, we need to be the ones to support them and help them in whatever questions they have, even cloning courses or whatever it is. We got to help them out. Okay. All right. So now,